Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Gerald Alexander. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed a new defensive backs coach, and he now joins Grady Brown as the Steelers defensive backs coach. As of what we know, Grady Brown is still under contract and still with the Steelers, but they have now signed a new kind of defensive backs coach to bring in alongside him in Gerald Alexander. Also, in the second portion of this video, I'll bring the news of the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the first ever game in Ireland next season. But first, before I get more into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, a small portion of this offseason so far has been talking around the Steelers coaching staff, and many people saying that there needs to be changes to it. I know this isn't a major change like a defensive coordinator or offense coordinator change, but a lot of talk has been expanding the coaching staff because the Steelers are always one of the most low-staffed teams and payroll teams towards their coaching staff in the entire NFL. So now they add a new coach, and it's a defensive backs coach. And this is a hire from the Las Vegas Raiders, because with the Las Vegas Raiders, Gerald Alexander, he was a safeties coach. And now he will be a defensive backs coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers per NFL Network's Cameron Wolfe. So this hiring is a good, smart move altogether. And Alexander, he's a smart and rising coach who spent last season as a Raiders safety coach, and now he takes over for the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. So the Steelers have had struggles in their secondary majorly over the last many years. So hopefully this hire, alongside what him and Grady Brown could do, could help this defensive backs position get back to where it used to be and get back to being one of the tops of the NFL. So, looking at Alexander and his history in the league and just his background in general, he was previously with Pittsburgh from 2022 to 2023 as the team's assistant defensive backs coach. The Steelers currently have Grady Brown as the team's secondary coach, and there's no word on whether or not he'll still be with the team in 2024 or if he'll be gone, so we can't really assume that. But given that Alexander worked under Brown previously, he could be returned to Pittsburgh in a similar capacity given the staff turnover in Las Vegas. So Alexander, he confirmed the news of the hiring with a tweet Friday night. He said, "Run that back, Turbo," and then he posted himself in a picture of a Steelers kind of practice shirt. So he's excited to be back, and he's ready to run it back. So looking at this, either way, the Steelers are adding an experienced coach who has ties to the organization. He also worked as a linebackers coach at the 2024 East-West Shrine Bowl, in addition to his 2 seasons with the Steelers and last season with Las Vegas. He worked in the NFL as a Miami Dolphins defensive backs coach from 2020 to 2021 as well. So this is just an experienced coach who has ties to the Steelers, but also has ties to just defensive backs coaching in general. He also spent time in the college ranks, serving as California's defensive backs coach from 2017 to 2019, with stints at Montana State, Indiana State, Washington, and Arkansas State prior. So looking at this, it's second known change to the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff. Inside linebackers coach Aaron Curry, he left to take a linebackers coach job with the New York Jets, and now the team has made an addition in the form of Alexander. So it's not completely new blood given Alexander's prior ties to the Steelers, but it is different from the last 2 years. So looking more into his history as a coach around this league, Alexander also interviewed for the New England Patriots defensive coordinator job, so he seems to be highly regarded in league circles. And also, looking at his prior stint at even coaching, he does have some playing experience, because prior to his coaching career, Alexander played in the NFL following a college stint at Boise State. He was a second-round draft pick by the Detroit Lions in the 2007 NFL Draft, and also spent time with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers, Dolphins, and Jets during his NFL career. He had 159 combined tackles and 4 interceptions during his career. So that's his history, and that's your introduction to him and his introduction to you. But the Pittsburgh Steelers make a change and sign Gerald Alexander as the new defensive backs coach. This is just a start to more changes likely to come for the Steelers, especially on their coaching staff, but at least we know now this is the first edition of the offseason. So the Pittsburgh Steelers welcome Gerald Alexander. Me personally, I like this pickup for the Steelers, adding another guy in the defensive backs room. Once again, we don't know about Grady Brown, if he will be back or if he won't. There was no news on that. So if it is just another addition to the defensive backs room, expanding this coaching staff is huge because it's not just one guy working with everyone, it's multiple people. And the more people you have coaching, the better. So I really like this pickup, and the Steelers are used to him. We're used to him as well, and hopefully it's a great addition. But we'll just have to wait and see how the defensive backs play this upcoming season. Hopefully better than the previous years. Anyway, let's move over to the second topic of this video. Enough with the hire of Gerald Alexander. Let's talk about something else, because some exciting news came out a few days ago, I believe, about the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting a game in Ireland. And it is the first game ever to be played in Ireland, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are a part of it. So let's get into that. After weeks of unofficial confirmation, the NFL officially announced the Pittsburgh Steelers would host a regular season game in Ireland during the 2025 season, but the league's press release didn't disclose an opponent or a week. But according to a new report, the Steelers will host the Green Bay Packers in Dublin in September 28th. So this was announced by a Packers radio personality, Ben Burst, which shared the news. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will face the Green Bay Packers. Keep in mind, this report hasn't been official confirmed that the Packers will be a part of this, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are 100% playing a game in Ireland, and we're just waiting on the 100% confirmation on who they will be playing against. So this is really exciting. It's worth noting international September games are relatively uncommon. Besides the Eagles-Packers game played on Friday that happened at the beginning of the season, the previous September game occurred in 2017, which was international. So no matter what occurs, this will be the Steelers' first international game since the 2013 season when the Steelers fell to the Minnesota Vikings in London. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been waiting for an international game. We all know the Steelers have fans abroad the world, and everyone supports the Steelers from everywhere. So it's to be really exciting to see how many fans come out and show love in Ireland and are representing the Steelers. But the Steelers, this is a matchup in which whoever they face, they should have a home game in terms of the fans being there, being mostly Pittsburgh Steelers. Art Rooney, in his press conference or kind of talk to the media about the game in Ireland, he expects that game in Ireland to be a home game for the season and expects the Steelers fans to show out because he knows that the Steelers have love around the world and one of the best fan bases traveling in the entire NFL. This is just great news for the Steelers overall because over the last year, we've gotten good news from just the Pittsburgh in general. Getting an international game like this in Ireland, hosting the NFL draft next season. The Pittsburgh Steelers are and have been the key to the NFL for a long time in terms of fan bases, and this once again shows that the NFL trusts the Steelers in terms of their fan base and representing the NFL in a big way. So this is a great kind of accepting thing for the Steelers, and gives them a chance to show out in back-to-back stints with this game in Ireland next season and then also hosting the draft and representing Pittsburgh in a great way. So the Steelers, they get this game in Ireland, they hired Gerald Alexander, and that's your news for the Steelers for today. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on both the topics. On the topic of Gerald Alexander being hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers, do you like that hiring? Do you think they should have went out and got someone new who has no idea about the Steelers business and they shouldn't have just re-signed someone who's been with the team prior? Or do you like this hire by Gerald Alexander towards the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think this will impact the team greatly or negatively, or just keep them the same? Let me know your thoughts. And also, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this game in Ireland. How do you feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers playing an international game for the first time in a long time, and it being the first ever game in Ireland, and the Steelers get the honor of doing that? Do you think the fans will show out there, and will you be going to the game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let me know. So, that's it for me, however, but this isn't it for Pittsburgh Steelers news. There's more news to be made, more news to come. It's the off season, and just because the season's over doesn't mean the off season news stops. So I'm covering everything Steelers news and rumors towards this off season, from free agency coming up, the draft, and also just mini camp, training camp, everything like that. So make sure you stay tuned to this channel for everything Pittsburgh Steelers. And until the next video, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.